Hi, I'm Jonathan here at Martin Lynch & Sons, and today we're unboxing and having a look at the much anticipated FT5. Okay, so we're going to jump straight into the unboxing. I have to say we haven't yet got one out. This is the first time that any of us are seeing the FT5 with our own eyes. So it's fairly standard packaging that we've come to expect from Yaesu, nice and compact. Obviously FT5 is what we're looking at. Let's get into the meat of it because that's what we're really here for. There we go. And I imagine manual will be straight on the top. Yep, manual is right on the top, which is fairly common placement for Yaesu products. Radio itself, we'll have a look at that in just a moment, but that's very first impressions. That looks very nice. I quite like the orange, and I have to say that the power button, it looks very orange in some of the photographs, but actually it's much duller in colour. It's more of a red colour compared to the orange of the PTT button. Also in the box, I've also got a battery down here if I can get it out, and this is the same SBR14 as used on things like the FT2 and the FT3. So it's exactly the same battery. So if you've come upgrading from either an FT2 or an FT3 and you've got a spare battery, it will work with the FT5 as well. We've also got a USB cable, again same as we've seen with the FT3, and it is a mini USB cable, sorry. That's done for firmware updating. Programming is done via SD card. Also in here, this is a brand new accessory. This is the quick release bracket. So you can also supply it in here. Somewhere will be the standard SHB13 bracket. This quick release belt bracket designed to go on your belt, and that way you can easily clip the radio out of the belt. It's a nice sort of solution. We'll have a look at that in a little bit. Also got standard antenna. This is the same antenna that Yaesu have been using for some time. Again, same as what's supplied with the FT3 currently and the FT2 previously. And finally, oh, spurting out there, the charger with both the European and UK power connectors on it. So that's everything in the box. I'm going to pop the power plug back in, and we'll have a look at the radio, because let's be honest, that's what we're all here for. So I'm going to take the radio out of the bag. And it is a nice weight, I have to say. It feels nice, high quality product as we've come to expect from Yaesu. Under the cover, obviously, very similar to the FT3. We've got speaker mic socket on that's up there, and then down below under this peely section, we've got the data port, the micro SD card, and of course the charging slot as well. So the radio feels very nice in the hand. It feels very well made. I'm just going to take the protective film off the screen. Lovely, love that noise. And we can immediately see it's a lovely glossy type screen. Doesn't appear to be too glossy that we won't be able to see it in pure daylight, but it is nice and high quality. But let's pop the battery on. Because the FT5 is now a waterproof sign, there's a bit of resistance you put the battery on. So it just requires a little bit of force, I've learned, just to get the battery on. But there we go, clicks into place quite happily. And now we can switch the radio on for the very first time. There we go, same as other C4FM radios from Yaesu. First thing you've got to do is pop your call sign in. Right, there we go, F button does it. And I'm going to pop in my call sign just there, just so we can get into the radio. There we go, and normally it's PTT button just to get through. There we go, right, so we're in there. So I'm not going to pop the antenna on just for the moment, but obviously antenna would go on just there. But let's have a look around the radio. So that is a very high quality screen. It looks to the naked eye a lot brighter than the FT3 screen. I always thought the FT3 was a little bit dull. This looks nice and bright. Again, it's the same sort of touch screen, same size of screen as on the FT3. Of course, main differences from the FT3 are the fact that we've got two truly independent VFOs. And you can now do C4FM on both simultaneously. Of course, on the FT3, both VFOs would support C4FM, but only one or other at the same time. You couldn't have both VFOs listening to Fusion. There's a slight redesign in button layout as well from the FT3. In fact, tell you what, let's have a little bit of a comparison with the FT3, because I've got one just over here. So let's just pull in the FT3, just switching it on. So we can see the two of them absolutely side by side. So immediately see that it is very similar in design, very similar size. FT5 just slightly bigger, I would say, in terms of width. Also new sort of button layout on this side. Obviously FT3 sported that sort of angled PTT, whereas FT5 is sort of curved rather than sort of angular. You can see the differences in sort of the button placement as well. The FT3 having dedicated GM and X buttons, whereas a multi-button now on the FT5. In terms of functionality, as we say, they've both got GPS on board. They have both got APRS support, both obviously C4FM. As I say, with the FT5, the improvements are it's now submersible. So if you like boating and you accidentally drop your radio in the drink, the FT5 is going to cope with that. FT3 wouldn't have done so. And the FT5, of course, we say now with the two independent VFOs, so that's a really nice feature. I think you can probably just see the difference in the screen as well on camera there. The FT5 does appear to be a little brighter than the FT3 does, so that's a nice improvement. Viewing angles, I'd say, are roughly the same. I would say on the right hand side, a bit of a difference in terms of the layout, but broadly the same connectors and all the accessories from the FT3 nicely do work with the FT5. Right, so I'm just going to have a quick look at the screens by bringing them up to this camera here, and as we can see, there's changes in the button placement on the bottom below the screen, but actually they've slightly changed the buttons on the screen, on the actual touch screen, just to make it a little bit more, I think, a little bit easier to understand what you're doing. So initially, the first thing we notice on the FT3 that the F button is on the touch screen. FT5 is an actual physical button, but both do sort of the same thing and bring up the same menu. Let's just get back out of that. And then they've relabeled the middle button. So on the FT3 it just says Auto. They've made it a bit clearer on the FT5 by putting TX Auto. So if you're in the automatic select mode, AMS, I'm making it really simple between the FT5 now saying TX Auto rather than just Auto on the FT3. Obviously the mode button remains the same. We can see on the screens themselves, the FT5 I think has a lovely screen. I think it's much brighter than the FT3. Let's just bring up the menu. So on the FT5, by pressing and holding the menu button brings us that. On the FT3, it's pressing and holding disc gets you to the same menu. Again, a little bit clearer, a little bit easier to navigate without sort of having to delve into the manual all the time. The new feature, of course, that is also quite exciting on the FT5 is the new Touch and Go feature, which is all done via this PMG button. So what you could do is you can load up a number of frequencies and it will scan between all of them and pick up where there might be activity, and then it's just simple pressing on the screen and it will take you to that frequency. We'll do a more in-depth video if you want, so if you'd like to see a more in-depth video on the Touch and Go feature, do please leave a comment down below. Finally, we'll have a quick look at some of the accessories, both those that are supplied with the FT5 and that are available optionally as well. There's the new bracket arrangement that comes with the FT5. So it's the combination of the standard belt clip and this new sort of quick release bracket. And the idea is that you can clip the radio into this clip. He says it'd probably be a lot easier when it's on there, but there we go. So that's holding the radio quite nicely. So it enables you to put that on your belt and very easily take the radio off if you wanted to use it and then sort of snap it back into place. So on a belt that'd be far easier. And that's going to keep the radio nice and secure. It feels very sturdy. That's not going anywhere at all. That's very, very solid. Also available, also comes in the box, we said the USB cable for firmware updating. And as we said previously, the programming of the radio, there's free software available on Yaesu.com, and it's all done via a micro SD card. Finally, available optionally, as well as a whole heap of accessories that have previously existed, things like the speaker microphones, the SSM17A, as well as the snapshot camera microphone, the MH85 also work with this. There's now a brand new leather case for the FT5. If you want to add a bit more protection to the radio, that is the perfect thing to do that with. Obviously designed for the radio, fits the radio perfectly, just like it should. I think the radio is an absolutely brilliant thing. If you're upgrading from an FT2 or an FT3, then you're going to benefit from the two independent VFOs. You're also going to benefit from the sort of upgraded design. I think it feels very nice in the hand. The extra protection on the corners over the FT3 does look very nice, and you do get the impression that Not that you'd want to, but it would survive a drop if you did happen to drop it from sort of waist height. If you're coming from an FT2, then you're also going to benefit from a much better GPS receiver. You're also going to benefit from the colour screen as well. And of course, in both cases, you're going to benefit from the water protection as well. So these are IPX7 rated. So you can drop this into up to 1 metre of water for half an hour. So that's a very nice thing to do, and there are some videos online already surfacing of people testing that. I'm not going to, but it's nice to know that if I did drop it in a puddle or something, it's going to survive. They are available in stock now. We've just received our deliveries. They are going out the door quite quickly, so if you are interested in one, do get your order in nice and quickly. And if you want a copy of the leaflet that have arrived in stock as well, ask the salesperson when you place the order, and we will we'll include one in the box for you as well. That's it. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you soon. Bye bye.